Hey guys, I was on a business trip for a couple of days, and when I came back, I had mail. These are the cards that we sent out to TAG for grading, those 4 Halloween set cards. So we're going to have a look at the entire package. We're going to look at each of the slabs and see what we got on those grades. And then we're going to talk a little bit about what we're going to do with those moving forward. Okay, so out of the FedEx box, we have a nice TAG branded black box. This is going to have our 4 slabs inside of it, and they're each going to be individually wrapped. So far, there's been no paperwork included that might give away the grades that we have. The tamper-proof seal has not been cut, so if somebody did open that FedEx box, they haven't gone as far as actually looking in here. So on the top flap, we have instructions on how to view TAG's grading report, as well as verify the authenticity of a TAG slab. And then we also have our 4 slabs in here. They've also included a little rubber bracelet that says "Trust in Transparency." They've included a TAG decal, and they've included 4 bags for the slabs to go in after they've been opened. But these here are what we care about. Let's get into it. So I have no idea what order these are in. I don't know what grades these got. TAG does give you access online to see your grades as soon as the grading process is complete. I did not peek at these because I wanted this video to be my first time seeing this, because this is my first time ever having cards graded with TAG. So I'm just going to choose one. Let's start here and we'll just go along and see what we get. So this is the first one. I don't know if I should open it backwards or forwards. I guess let's start backwards and see. Okay. So if I keep my thumb over there, I won't know what grade this is. I'm going to show this to the camera. Oh, it's our Ghastly. And let's reveal the grade. We got a 9. Okay. I had been hoping for a 10 on the Ghastly, and the Haunter and the Gengar, but we have a 9. So I suppose what we'll have to do is look at the grading report and see exactly why that got a 9. I see one little nick on the corner, and I have a feeling I see a little nick down here that I maybe missed, or perhaps that showed up during shipping. See that little nick? I have a feeling that's probably what brought us down to a 9 on this one. But we'll review the grading report and we'll see what actually brought that down. We'll do this one the same way. And this is, okay, this is our Gengar. And Gengar got a 10. Gem Mint 10. Nice. That's what we wanted to see on all of them. Unfortunately, we're only seeing it on the Gengar, but at least so far. That is exactly what we wanted to see, was a Gem Mint 10. Okay. Next up, we've got the Mimikyu. And let's see, this one got another 10. Well, 2 for 3 so far. That's something I can be pretty happy with. All right, last one. So this one's Haunter. We know that because we only sent 4 cards. Let's see what Haunter got. And Haunter got a 10. So 3 out of 4. The Ghastly was the one that got the 9. I'm going to have to sit and think about whether I want to send in another Ghastly. I did have a few options and I chose one, and apparently I chose poorly. So we'll have a think about that because I would like to sell these as a set of 3 10s. But obviously if I only have 2 10s, that's not quite as ideal. So I'll talk a little bit about the slabs. The edges of them are nice and smooth and rounded. There's no sharpness there. There is a little dimple on the top from the injection molding process, or however these are produced. They do lock into each other, so you can stack them up like that, and they're all nice and firmly interlocking. So from a quality control perspective, these all came out really nice. From the wrappers, they were clean. I see no fingerprints. One thing that I do notice is that Gengar has a small fleck of something right there, and it is inside the slab. I can't get that off. It's not on the outside, it's not on the back side. It is something sealed in there with Gengar. So I will reach out to Tag Support about that and see what can be done. If they can take this back, crack this one open and re-slab it without that in there. I don't know if there will be an extra charge for that. I would hope not, but we'll see. Just a quick update, Tag did get back to me and offered to re-slab the card for free. Here's the email they sent. We are sorry to hear you received a Tag slab with a noticeable defect and appreciate you sending these images for our records. We look forward to taking care of this issue for you ASAP. They then gave me instructions on how to send that slab back, but because I'm planning to send in a larger order, there was also this section of the email. Alternatively, this slab can be included with any future order for a complimentary re-slab and shipment alongside the future order. Following receipt, the card will be re-encapsulated and the card will be shipped back to you free of charge within 2 weeks of receipt. Overall, I'm really pleased with everything we got. The slabs themselves look great. These are going to look great on display until they get sold. I'm going to have to think on Ghastly. I don't want to sell a set of a 9, 10, and 10. I want 10, 10, and 10. But this is expensive to have done. Mimikyu's great. Mimikyu's going to go up for sale. If you're interested in that, I'm going to post an eBay link in the description below. There probably won't be a link for these ones yet. I think I'm going to look at doing another Ghastly. So let's take a look at the Tag website. On your order page, you're going to have a bunch of links. These will go to things like the dig reports for each card, as well as a toggle up at the top that will allow you to turn the grades on and off. You can also choose to show the grades individually. As we can see here, when we turn that on, it turns on all the grades, so we can see Mimikyu got 10 gem, Ghastly got 9, Haunter got 10 gem, and Gengar got 10 gem. Now, if we go from here and click on the dig report for Ghastly, we can see the name of the card, the set that it's from, the grade we got, as well as 2 high-resolution images that we can zoom in and out on and move around. There's also a toggle slider on the right, and we can use that to turn the surface defect transparency up and down, which will show us a little bit of a different type of image and show where you might have issues. As you can see, that ding's pretty visible in that lower left corner. So now if we scroll down a little bit, we get to see the population report. the card rank, and the chronology of when it was graded. So this is actually the only Ghastly card that Tag has done from this specific set. Now, if we scroll down a little bit farther, we get to see one of the biggest things that I like about Tag, which is understanding the grade. As we can see, we've got one ding on the back corner. We have no dings on the front or back edges. Our centering was really good, 51, 49 left and right, 47, 53 top and bottom. The back was perfect left to right and a little bit off center top to bottom. We also had no surface dings, and then on the far right it shows the dimensions. Now we have defects identified of notable grade significance, or what Tag calls dings. So this will show a little picture of anything that has a defect with a notable impact on the grade. In this case it was our back bottom left corner with that small white mark. Then we have the dings map, which we can toggle front and back of the card. It also shows the spacing. It shows the fray, fill, angle of the corners. Then we can click on the ding and it'll zoom us in on this little flashing square, which shows exactly where that is. Now if we go back, we can look at the corner details, and they'll have high resolution zoomed in images of all of the corners, front and back. And we'll also be able to look at the edge details right at the very bottom here, where we can see the top, bottom, left, and right edges on the front, and the same on the back. Finally, Tag also provides us with high-res slabbed images that we can use on social media or eBay or other websites, and you can download all of those to use for your ads or social media posts. So just a quick little bit of business stuff. The cost of grading the cards was $37 Canadian per card for their 3-day service. I did that times 4 cards, so $148 Canadian. The cost of shipping the cards to Tag was $21.63 Canadian. The cost of return shipping was $41 Canadian, which meant that in total I spent $210.63 Canadian having these cards grade. That works out to a total per card of $52.66 Canadian. That's pretty expensive. Now, we can make that a bit cheaper by lowering the cost of grading to $25 Canadian per card for their 20-day service, and if we did that times 4 cards, it would have only cost us $100 Canadian. The cost of shipping the cards to Tag wouldn't change, still $21.63, and the cost of return shipping wouldn't have changed, still $41. That would have resulted in a total spend of $162.63, working out to a total cost per card of $40.66 Canadian. Now, if we wanted to bring that cost down even further, we could look at a bulk submission where we submit 20 cards for their 20-day service, which works out to $500 Canadian total. The cost of shipping to Tag would change a little bit because the package will be a little bit heavier, but I don't expect it to cost a lot more, maybe $30 Canadian. The cost of the return shipping would become free because we would surpass the limit for free return shipping offered by Tag. That brings us to a total of $530 Canadian for 20 cards. That works out to a total cost per card of $26.50 Canadian. Finally, one more thing we have to consider here is the costs involved with selling a card. If we're using something like eBay, they are going to have fees to use their platform. eBay, for example, charges a 13.25% final value fee and a 0.4% international fee. There's also the cost of shipping materials. For me, I guess that's going to be around $2 Canadian per card. Just in consumables. I don't know for sure if that's exactly what it'll cost, but given my experience with online sales in the past, that's about what I expect to spend. We also need to consider the cost of grading. In this case, as we discussed, it can be $26.50 per card if I'm going with a bulk submission option to get the lowest cost per card that I can. That gives us a break-even selling price of $33.50 Canadian over the cost of the card. And to be fair, I did not factor in taxes, which would also need to be considered, so it's actually a little bit higher than that. So that means my target selling price is going to be about $50 Canadian over the cost of the card. Now in some situations it might be higher, in some cases it might be lower. It depends on how long I want to sit on that card, how quickly I want to move that card, how rare that card is, and other factors like that. This is just sort of a baseline of I'm generally going to aim for only grading cards that I expect to be able to sell for roughly $50 over the cost of that card. How do I feel about the Tag grading process? Overall, I'm very happy with it. I'm definitely going to be sending more things to Tag. I really like the way that the slabs look and feel. Obviously disappointed in the 9, but I can't blame them for that. It's very clear that I missed a ding on that corner. So I just need to decide whether or not I want to send another Ghastly card or sell this set with 2 10s and a 9, but that doesn't really appeal to me. So I'm probably going to be looking at sending in another card and hoping for another 10. The Mimikyu is going to be available for sale on eBay. The link will be in the description below. Feel free to have a look at that. If it's gone, well, it's gone. I will make another video once I put together cards from the collections we've bought and some of the other cards that I've accumulated that I plan to be sending out in hopes of getting more 10s that can then be sold. So be sure to tune in for that video when it drops. And thanks for checking this one out. Hope to see you in the next one.